Mike. What's going on, buddy? We got episode 30. 30. It's a very important number for many people when they turn 30. How are you?
I am, as you see, slightly bent. I will never say the word broken because I am not broken. My shoulder's out of its socket, and I literally just woke up from a sleep in which I don't sleep, but because my shoulder is so bad, I have to, like, my body just shuts down with this, like, medication, the pain medication they're taking given to me, but I'm too dumb to actually go to an ER. So they're just like, "Hey, like, just relax." And I'm like,
Somebody told Mike Jones to relax. They don't know their patient very well.
I was like, "Do you know who I am? Like, I just told you I can't do that."
Yeah, right. How long you been? Wait a minute. Wasn't your shoulder jacked up last episode?
Yes, sir. Like I said, I am dumb. I can't I am too dumb to live, too smart to die. That's what I have tattooed on my arm. So, it's like it's just there. It's gonna be I'm gonna get once we get through today, because today's a big day.
Tell me about it. Tell us about it. Us, the world, about it.
So today we do a never been done before thing. We're going to the catalyst. I have two decoys in who are shadowing right now, and I have media day, and we're gonna go out there. We're gonna go freaking do a bite night, the sideshow edition.
Tell us a little bit about now that you're telling me this, I'm like remembering some previous conversations. Tell everybody what the catalyst is.
So the catalyst is like a iconic like venue. So like for like in the area, like that's the biggest venue that there is. So like there is no other bigger venue in Santa Cruz other than the Catalyst. The Catalyst is like the actual like big thing, which to me, this is one of those things where I was like, shoot, I was like, I'm just gonna throw it out there and see if I can get it. And then I got it. And then I was like, holy shit, I got it. How the how am I how how is this gonna work out? You know, and then on top of that, you know, like the crazier thing about it is like on top of that, I put it on myself just because like after I lost Bear, like I was like, dude, I was like, I'm just gonna go. Like I'm just gonna go. So I'm gonna put the freaking Street League tour together. I'm gonna see if I can get the catalyst. I'm gonna put two because Tuesdays are my hardest days. Because Tuesdays are the days I say bye to my like, you know, my daughter. And like I'm like,
Mhm.
all right. And like it doesn't ever gets easier. Any single parent, if you don't feel like shit when you don't say bye to your kid, you're a piece of shit. Because like I freaking like every time I see my leave see let's say see the other my kid, I cry my ass off. Like and I'm a big motherfucker. Like, dude, so I freaking said bye to my daughter. We got to do this stuff, the media stuff. And Katie, you know how I am in front of a camera.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Yes, I do.
dude, and then I got to go and then I got to go and do this the F word or whatever dolphin noise that we're gonna do now. I got to go and do that with freaking the catalyst in front of 300 plus people spectators.
Nice. Now this is going to be run like just like the sideshow was from.
No, this is gonna be just a bite night.
Oh, okay.
It was all that was just the marketing for Road to Street League because I have Chris Corley and I have Jacques here. So we're gonna do I'm putting them
Jacques
to the
Bonnet, not to be called Boney, but I call him Boney because he let me know that he doesn't like it. So I mean, don't let me know that you don't like something because
yeah. So I have them here that I'm running through my dogs and then we go on Road to Street League tour, bro. Then it just goes until we end up in New York.
you're coming to Florida to see me, right?
Oh, of course. You better show up.
The
Like
26th, Sunday, the 26th. Oh, the 25th and the 26th, right? February 25th and 26th.
if I am on there on a Sunday, you better be there because that is the day that I am sacrificing for my kid to be somewhere I really don't want to be.
Yeah,
So
I got that stuff
you got
marked off.
yeah, you got to be there. I need at least you there.
I will venture out. I haven't been doing much traveling lately. I mean,
Really?
yeah, so exactly, right? Like, really? No, I mean, I want to, but a lot of the traveling I have done, I'd say in the past 6 months has all been work related. And uh,
Oh,
we were talking a little bit before we turned the camera on. Like right now I'm doing some major soul searching thinking, planning, restructuring of a lot of things on a lot of different levels. And one of them is something that I talk about all the time to my dog training clients, like the dog trainers I work with. And it's actually a huge piece of this new program I'm working on for dog trainers. A little bit of foreshadowing. Um, and that is like taking care of yourself. And it's something that we've mentioned a little bit in almost every episode here in season 2. And we're going to mention it on every single episode moving
yep,
forward
of
in
course.
some way, shape, or form, even if it's just for you and I keeping like accountability on each other. Um, but like I want to travel more for me this year, like 2023. I need to do some from like stuff for me. Like I haven't been, dude, have you ever been skiing?
Have I been where?
Skiing.
No.
Okay. So like this is my point. Like these are the things that run through my mind, right? There's a lot of stuff that runs through my mind, people. It's a dangerous place.
Yeah.
Um like
Factual.
I very I used believe it or not, I used to be a ski instructor many, 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 many years ago. Those who know me know almost every job I've ever had involves some type of teaching. That's why I do what I do. Um, but when I was in high school, I was a ski instructor and there was a mountain, Brody Mountain in the Berkshires, right in Massachusetts. Um, and recently I saw something on Instagram, a video of someone skiing, and I'm like, oh, I haven't been skiing in over 20 years. And I'm like, well, whose fault is that, motherfucker? Like, like that's when the light bulb went off. It's like, dude, if you want to go skiing, book a trip and go skiing. You haven't gone skiing in 20 plus years. Go. Nothing's stopping you. I can afford, I mean, it is what it is. I can afford to pretty much do like any type of fun thing I want to do. I've worked my butt off and I have the means to do that type of stuff. And here I am preaching it to the dog trainers I work with, trying to help them have, you know, functional, balanced lives in addition to profit and increasing revenue. But like, a lot of dog trainers have the most toxic, dysfunctional lives because they're slaves to the dogs. They're slaves to their clients. They're slaves to the business. It's messed up. And here
So,
I am like, man, I haven't gone on a fun trip in a while. So
so I want to chime in. I want to chirp in on that one.
yeah.
So, like, I just went on a little vacation with my amazing fiance Erin. Like, we went to Ventana, and the only reason why I say Ventana and it's in Big Sur is because if you Google it, it's it's in a very it's a very like expensive resort. Like it's not like cheap whatsoever.
Mhm.
And like during that time, like, cause like I was going through it and I was just like, dude, I was like, let me get me out of here. Let's just let me go out there. And I wanted to like have that break. So I slept for basically 2 days just for the speed that I run at. Cause considering today on, we're gonna actually like we're going super fast into everything. And I I woke up and I was just like, dude, I was like, I can't relax. Like I just can't relax. Like there's no relaxation. Like I was like, I feel like I have dogs to take out. I feel like I have dogs that need to work, and especially being hurt. So if I can't actually work a dog, my whole brain goes into like this creative mode. So then we started doing like all this other stuff. So I went full force while we're at this place. And then she's looking at me like I'm like a psychopath. I'm like, well, it's like, I'm just maybe a little different. Like that just may be I might be just a little bit crazy. But no, I freaking we went over there and we had a good time and fucking it was amazing. That was our vacation. People over there thought I was a rapper because my face tattoos,
Oh, face tattoos equal rap. I mean,
which I'm getting another one. I'm getting one over here, getting one for Bear. So I got
I'm
this one
over
for Maryland, this one for Bear.
I'm overdue, but that's a whole nother topic. I've been craving one lately. Maybe I should get something involving traveling because that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah,
Like, see now, okay, now you got me curious. I'm gonna
that was the
dig
point.
in.
That
I'm
was the
gonna
point.
dig into Mike Jones here. Um, and plus I've had like 5 cups of cappuccino. It's a whole nother story. I bought an espresso machine. Like, we'll talk about that in a minute. Like,
Nespresso.
no, no, no. Such folly. A real one, not that Nespresso malarkey. Um, see, I just totally.
A little bit
Oh,
pause.
that's right. I was going to ask you a question. Holy crap, Mike! That was a complete. That was like complete brain freeze, brain fart, whatever you want to call it. Like it was hit the pause button on life. Um, so you have me intrigued right now. You have me intrigued with like how your brain works. And here you go to this, as you explained, this gorgeous, beautiful place with your most precious loved ones. You're away from work, and okay, so there's no dogs to catch. So you're now going through the creative aspects of Primal Canine and work and your business and your branding and all that. So when do you not, and you can't outside of your daughter doesn't count in this because that's too easy. When are you not, when do you think about something other than work? Now you see why I said like your daughter doesn't count, because that's obvious, because she's a
Yeah,
huge part of your life. But like outside of that, just you, for Mike, what activity, what hobby, what thing, what conditions have to take place for you to actually just be like whatever, and you're thinking about that thing and it has nothing to do with work?
never.
Seriously.
Like never. Like I literally like when I was running. I mean, so like this is the thing is that like I was born very poor. So like like it was I had a mom who didn't take care of me, a dad didn't take care of me, a lot of different things I didn't have. So like like I see it now. Like I just see the love I have for my kid. I see the love I have for my fiance. I see the love I have for my staff. I see all these things. And like to me, I'm like to me, like it's I wake up with the panic every single day. And this I don't this goes on like, oh god damn, they're gonna make me mad at me about this one. I don't give a shit if this goes online. I wake up every morning with a panic. And the reason I wake up every morning with a panic is because I have things to do. And I don't want people to envy. I don't want people to want this life. I'm just creating a path for people to pursue and get better and get the life that I got by what I do. So my whole entire life is it is, I wake up and I'm like, all right, cool. Like now I'm gonna go get somebody. Like now I'm gonna go get some stuff because like there's a lot of things that people don't even know that I do that I've done before, that are part of it. So when I wake up, I'm like, all right, now I gotta go. And like that's real life, that's real life for me. I run. That's what, like, I don't know if you remember, Katie. I was running like 100 miles a week before I blew my
Yeah.
knees out. Like I was like, I gotta run 100 miles a week, and then I gotta freaking do 100 reps of like 225 on a bench press, and then I gotta freaking get a I gotta work all my dogs. I gotta do all this other stuff and like, do everything like that. Obviously, I'm not my shoulder is out, so may not work for me, but that's what, at that time when we developed what we got, like, now like that's where we're at, so now I just got to keep going. And we have tonight, we're doing the catalyst, and which is absolutely insane.
So it's almost as if we need to like change the perspective here, because like I ask you that question,
Yeah.
and then I listen to your, and at first, but listening to you answer, right? Like at first I'm like processing, I'm listening. And so people know like all of this, like we didn't, this is just conversation. Like I don't have this written down. Like it's like, oh cool, this is a great opportunity for me to ask Mike this because I want to know. Um, I'm framing it by like work, play, work, hobby, work, whatever. So when you answer the question, you're like, well, never. And then when you started explaining, it's almost like, whoa, wait a minute. I was trying to put it in a box that it can't be put in. Like I was using my definitions. I was using the way I compartmentalize my life to process your life. And it's like, well, it doesn't work that way. So it's, and for anyone else thinking like, oh, well, how can he not relax? How can he not work? Well, because it isn't work to you. It's a lot more than work. It's not it's not the box or the compartment of work. It's
Well,
it's your life. It actually has meaning to you outside of monetary compensation. It has meaning to you outside of punching a time clock. Even it has meaning to you outside of a joyous passion. Like it's a way of life. After hearing you explain it, that's what I'm hearing now.
oh yeah, I mean it's I mean, like I said before, there is no there's no reality. It's just one perspective. It's
Mhm.
just an individual perspective. I said it before in the last one. And like, the thing is that it's like, to me, my perspective is me. I have fun, when I shoot my bow. I teach my daughter boxing, and I do like outside things. But other than that, considering like how I was raised, like my only thing is go. Like it's just that. It's just go.
Okay, so I forgot about the bow. Let me ask you about the bow and arrow. Because now that you mention it, I recall, especially in your stories on Instagram. Let's say you and I are in your backyard where you have like the most amazing backyard ever. And you're, I think I've shot a bow like 3 times. It's been like at a buddy's house. Um, and let's say I'm out there visiting and I go out and I buy a bow because we just happened to stop by the shop while you did something. I'm like, hey Mike, I'm gonna buy one too. And so we go back to the house and we get set up and we got some, we have our accoutrements and beverages and whatnot. We're having a good afternoon.
Yeah.
And you're teaching me how to shoot the bow and you're shooting the bow. Now, during that time period when we're doing that, are you able to spend 30 minutes with me just talking about the bow, or is work conversation going to slip in?
Work will slip in. It'll just because I have to do my own, like we have this thing called like like family dinner, and we do it every Sunday. And like with our team here, and like we're literally like talking. I'm giving my Mike Jones speech. Yes, there's a Mike Jones speech, and like I'm doing that stuff, and I have to like do that whole thing. But like, even with my daughter, I told her, I was like, we got 5 minutes to shoot the bow, and like, do this stuff like that, like just to get it done, like, get it done. But I literally, I think only with my kid I have that one mental space.
Mm-hmm.
With baby, like, that's like, my boogie's like, with her, I have that one mental space every time. Once I switch off, I switch off, like completely switch off, and like it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. But if you do come up here, KD, when you actually not if
Yeah,
when
yeah. I
you
was like, did you just say
when
if? Like,
when you do come up here, KD, when you do come up here, I have 3 bows. Actually, no, I have 5 bows. I have 5 bows, and when you come up here, we can get you shooting some shit. It'll be, and I have a gigantic range. I got everything from one, like one. I go everything from like 100 miles. I got everything like on that stuff. So we have the whole entire range of my house. Well, you've been up here,
yeah,
so you we developed a whole new course.
nice.
So we'll have some fun. Woo.
If yeah, when you can straighten your arm out.
Well, I can't even freaking shoot, man. Like I like my whole arm is just completely just dislocated out. It's actually for people who are watching this right now, my shoulder is out of its socket and my lat is torn. But
Why haven't they popped it back in yet?
I did it when I first got in. I literally remember the legal weapon, or what's it called? What
Lethal Weapon, Mel Gibson, when he's like, yeah.
I literally just did that right before I got in here. Just to get it right back in. But it is what it is. That's the stuff that you have to deal with, guys, when you're building. I mean, it realistically is like, because a lot of the times, like when people talk about like, being a decoy and wanting to be this decoy and all this other stuff like that, like you're dealing with pain, and you're dealing with pain for a specific reason. You're dealing with pain because you're building a dog. Dogs need to understand what pain is, and you're the one that has to sacrifice for that pain. You're the one that has to go through it, and you have to deal with it. You have to be a man, woman, whatever it may be, whatever the hell, like, who knows, we're in this different world, KD. Like you have to be that person that's ready to deal with all that stuff, because that's what the dog responds to. And we've talked about this before.
Mhm.
Yeah. We've talked about the dog understanding what these markers are and everything like that. But like in the end of the day, if you want to build dude, I got freaking Chris Corley here, who is from Florida, and he works with he's my primal canine Florida guy. We talked about, he's like, dude's like, your dog's fucking hard. I'm like, there, there's
Yeah.
there's a reason. There's an absolute reason for that. So I mean, you got to be able to sacrifice it, but you also have to. And I think one thing, KD, you can explain more, is that you have to learn how to basically recover yourself. You have to be able to like not do what I do.
Oh, okay. Now I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, like on a 24-hour cycle.
Yeah, you have to be able to not do that. But I can't, so it's
Yeah.
just
So, I've been kind of going down that rabbit hole a lot lately. It's interesting that you mentioned in particular recovery. Um, I and I think I mentioned it in a previous episode, but like I've been watching or listening to a lot of Huberman Lab,
dude, that
Andrew
much.
Huberman.
He's smart as shit, dude. Like that guy, the shit that I hear from that, like stuff I hear from him.
Oh yeah, he's legit. But and what what I really like about it is, as intelligent as he is, he speaks and he can totally speak in layman's terms,
Yeah.
and he'll switch in between nomenclature and jargon and go right back into talking to me or talking to someone else who isn't into neuropsychology, and he can make it very applicable. And I started right around like December. This was part of like the stuff we were talking about on the episode about New Year's, where we talked about New Year's resolutions and stuff. um you know I want to do better, like you. I mean, every day. Every
Yeah.
single day I want to do better. And part of that is, all right, I need to rest better because I've gotten back into working out. I'm working out 4 or 5 days a week right now. And holy shit. Like, after not really working out for almost 2.5 years, like really, and I mean, like on a program, on a routine. It's been several years, man. It really has. And I noticed like, ooh, damn, it doesn't feel like it did 3 years ago. It feels worse.
Yeah.
It's harder. The pain, the soreness, I'm having a lot of issues with tendonitis, like patellar tendonitis. So right above my kneecap, like I can bust out, like, warm up, right? Do 25 just Hindu squats, like we learned in wrestling and jujitsu. And then I throw a little bit of light weight on, and on the fourth rep, all of a sudden it's a sharp stabbing pain in my kneecap. I have a really awesome physical therapist now. Shout out to Charlie Keenan, Rewire Fitness in Tampa. And he's like, yeah, dude, it's like your tendon. It isn't like your knee. It's not like a knee issue. While he was, yeah, your knees are pretty weird and creaky, crunchy. He's like, this is just tendons because you don't do anything. You haven't done anything in so long. You've been so inactive and you haven't been eating properly. You haven't been sleeping properly. So then I went down the Huberman rabbit hole and started learning about sleep, started learning about how alcohol impacts sleep. I realized I was drinking too much alcohol. And it was like, oh, guess what? THC impacts sleep too.
Yep.
Whoa, because part of my nightly routine was THC before bed. And yeah, it helped me fall asleep. And I slept what I would have told you was better. I would have said I slept longer. And then I started learning and getting more educated. And with THC in particular, yes, it does help you fall asleep easier. Yes, you do get into, like, for me, I'm a dreamer, always have been since I was a kid. Like, I have intense, vivid dreams 7 nights a week. I wake up every morning. I remember my dreams. It's pretty wild. I thought everybody was like that until I started talking to
Nope.
people and they're like, huh? What? I'm like, okay. Anyway, I thought REM sleep was the cat's meow. That's the goal, right? Get that REM sleep. If I'm dreaming, I'm winning. I just learned. No. No, that's actually not true. It's that chunk of sleep called, like, slow wave sleep or deep sleep that happens right in the beginning of when you go to bed. That's when the growth hormone is released, which at our age, the older we get, the less growth hormone our body releases anyway. So picture this, your body's aging. You're not releasing growth hormone like you used to. And for those who don't know, growth hormone is super important for repair of your body, repair, metabolic repair, as well as cellular repair.
I'm
That's why
actually
little kids.
taking I'm actually taking freaking this like well it's funny. Just because I know I'm gonna forget about it. Like we do my daughter goes to this lady, her name is Brandy, and she does like she's her horse trainer, and she does like
Yeah,
homeopathic.
homeopathic.
Yeah, she made her own HGH from for a horse. Like I'll show you the bottle.
That's interesting.
So she does this stuff. I again, guys, if you're watching this, I am not an extremely smart person. I just do what I gotta do. But she gave me a bottle of it, and like freaking like that's why I was late today because she gave me a bottle of it, and like I dropped my daughter off, and like I was like I took little capsules of it, and I just freaking like fell asleep. I'm like I just went out and I don't I don't sleep. So so
Yeah,
like
sleep is where you heal. And I've
yeah.
learned that the alcohol was killing it. The THC actually doesn't allow you to get into deep sleep, so you don't get the growth hormone release. So recovery and taking care of it's one thing, doing all the right things when you're awake, but doing all the right things that also make it for when you're sleeping, that you're getting the most out of your sleep. That's what I've been focusing on a lot lately, is trying to get better sleep, which is why it's a little bit conflicting that I just became a passionately feverishly obsessed with espresso because I bought an espresso machine and now I feel like a grown up and I just can't see drinking regular coffee anymore. But the thing is, I like it so much, I was drinking it throughout the day. So then I was like, well, what do I do? Like, oh, I'll buy some decaf coffee and put that in the espresso machine just because I like the process of making it. So now I'm having to manage my caffeine that I don't drink like too much. Like this is the third one of these I've had today.
I don't know how you drink that. Like I literally have to do so. So we went to that place, that fancy place I was talking about,
Yeah.
and they have a machine there. So it was like I think it's called like or
Nespresso is like an automatic. It's like a Keurig for
like you just
espresso.
press it down and it
Yeah.
goes right. Like yeah,
Yeah.
you go down that way. So we did one of those, and I bought one just because I need this, but I can't do more than like one freaking like one cup because if I do more than one cup, then I turn into a psychopath, and I then I just like and my brain don't stop.
Oh wow. Yeah. I don't respond to caffeine that way. Um, but it will impact it will keep me up at night.
Oh
So
yeah,
anything after, today I'm pushing it. Like I made that at 1:15 Eastern because I know because it's morning time for you, but it's like afternoon after lunch for me when we do these
yeah,
episodes. Like even that, I'm not gonna lie, like I put half decaf in that because when you're using an espresso machine, you got this thing called the portafilter, and it's this handle, and it's got a cup in it, and it's got a tiny, tiny pinhole. And the thing about espresso is it's coffee beans, coffee grounds, but it's under extreme pressure, like 15 bars of pressure.
yeah.
And it comes out a pinhole that you can barely even light does barely even passes through it. So when you're making it, like you put the powder in there, you lock it in, and then the pressure makes that's where all the foam comes from. Well, I put a little bit of decaf in it and mixed it with the really dark espresso ground simply because I'm like, you know what? This is my third dose, a third hit
Jesus
today.
Christ, I can
Let
even. I wouldn't be able to. I'd be out on the fucking street right now, just like running around, like acting like a fucking psychopath. Like that would be that. There's no way, dude. I wouldn't be able to do it. I would just run around like.
did you okay, so did you ever used to take pre-workouts?
No, I couldn't. I would literally like I can never do pre-workout stuff. It's always in my head. It's always go. Like it's never like if I do anything more. I actually know what was there was a pre-workout. I can't remember what it was.
Well, you can do the non-caffeinated ones.
Well, I never knew about those because I'm
I think they're probably, you know what? They're probably pretty new, dude. They're probably more new now. Like,
when
you're
I
right.
when I fought for Fairtex, like me and Leopoldo, we took the same who's my jujitsu coach. Like this is like 16 years, 16 almost 20 years ago. Like when we were training together, getting ready for like anything like that, I would take this one thing. It was like this like super like famous like pre-workout and I would take it and then he'd be fine. He just would always joke. He's like, I just have the shits. And I was like, I need to go and he's like, you're being too rough. Like what people, I'm like, dude, I was like, I'm already there. And then you give me something that makes me want to go further. I was like, I'm tired, yes. Like I'm 100% tired and I need more like caffeine or whatever. I was like, but if you give me like this shit that like makes me go further, like I'm just gonna go further. So I do like freaking. I took I can't remember dolphin noise. G. Whenever you watch this, uh, if you give me this stuff, like it's just gonna make me go like even more. And like that stuff, like the that pre workout stuff used to just like destroy me. Like that would like that stuff. Like I'd have to. I'd have to work out, and then I would have to run, and then I would have to like box, and then I'd have to run home. Like it was just one of those things. So that's why I don't take any pre-workouts.
So basically, it was like you had to use it up. If you took it, you had to do a bunch of stuff to use it up because you couldn't go back to regular life without using it up.
Oh yeah, I couldn't switch the lights off. It would be like it would just go into it like I'm going into this mode. Boom, bang, we're in this mode. I gotta stay in this mode, and then it's gonna be gone. And or I have to work it until it's gone.
Mm. See, for me, when I would take them, and I've taken all the big named ones. The issue I would have occasionally is, and this is where the memes come from, and there's like lots of jokes about pre-workouts. Like sometimes you would all of a sudden feel like you had the flu. And I mean, you take it, you get to the gym, the beta alanine starts kicking in. And that's why I always liked beta alanine. I still use beta alanine today. Like I buy beta alanine separate because it's cheaper, and then I mix it in with my pre-workout. But beta alanine, for those who don't know, that's the one that makes you feel like you got ants under your skin.
Yeah.
It gives you the tingles. It also increases muscular endurance. A lot of people overlook that part, but the beta alanine kicks in, and that lets you know it's go time because all the other stuff is probably about ready to kick in too. And you're just getting into the gym, you're getting your music set up, and then you go from the beta alanine hitting to I'm going to vomit and pee out my butt at the same time. And I have 2 seconds to get to the bathroom before all of that happens. And it would, I mean, folks, I am not, those of you watching, listening who have experienced it, I am telling the truth and I am painting a very accurate picture. So for those who don't know, they're like, really? Oh, really? Vomit, pee out your butt
Yeah.
all at the same time. And you just walked into the gym and you're like, what am I going to do? And you just get to a stall and you just let it happen. And hopefully you make it through. And usually in about 10 to 15 minutes, you go and you have the best workout of your life and just hope don't trust a fart. The only time I had a real problem, and I mean problem, there was one called um, Mr. Hyde.
Oy. I mean, just the name itself is like one
Yeah.
of the.
And right now there's somebody listening to this who's nodding because they know what I'm talking about. Mr. Hyde was one of the, when a bunch of them were made illegal, Mr. Hyde hung around. And however they managed to do it with their ingredient list, they didn't get banned. And I had never taken it. I was cycling like the NO Explode. I did a lot of that. It was a big one. Red
That's the
lines.
one, the NO Explode. That's the one that I was talking about. That is the one, dude. Like dolphin noise. That is the one that got my ass so bad. Like literally, well, yeah, literally and physically.
Okay. That one is nothing compared to Mr. Hyde.
No
Mr.
way,
Hyde
bro.
makes NO Explode seem like a kid's vitamin.
What the hell?
I woke up one morning and I had a single dose that I had gotten from the supplement shop. Sometimes they give you out individual just to promote it. Like
Yeah,
this wasn't like an underground thing. This was like it's still on the shelves today probably.
yeah.
And they gave me a sample, and I'm like, of all the pre-workouts I've ever taken, I've never taken Mr. Hyde. So I remember it was a Saturday morning. My roommates, all the guys I lived with at that time, it was all guys from jujitsu. They were all bouncers at strip clubs. Like everybody I knew and was friends with was either fighting or just doing jujitsu and bouncing.
Yeah.
So I'm up. At the time I was, public school teacher full time, dog training here and there on the side. Um, I took it, started getting dressed, started getting my stuff together. All of a sudden, started feeling a little funky, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, pre-workout. Hey, all right. You know what? I'll if I have to vomit, I'll do it at home. If I have diarrhea, at least I'll be home." So I didn't leave yet. Thank goodness I didn't leave because it went from bad to worse. Next thing you know, I'm outside, completely saturated in sweat. I mean, my underwear was wet. That's how
Yep.
much I was sweating. And I went outside because I just didn't want to be in the house. I felt like the walls were closing in on me. My heart was going like insane. And one of the guys that I lived with, he comes outside to let his dog out and he sees me and he's like, dude, seriously? And I look at him like, what do you mean seriously? He's like, dude, you're out here partying at 10 in the morning? And I'm like, and for those who are listening to this, I just made a gesture that indicated the type of partying I was referring to. And he's like, I didn't know you got down like that. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, did you just insinuate that I just did coke? He's like,
Yep.
yeah, man, look at you. I didn't know you did that. I'm like, I don't do that. I've never done that. And he goes, well, you sure look like you just did like 3 rails. Like, I'm like, I took a pre-workout, man. Like, I'm freaking out. He's like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, I took that Mr. Hyde stuff. And then he looked at me, he goes, oh, no, you didn't. That's the worst one ever. He goes, I can't take that. I started having like chest pains and a panic attack. And I'm
Yeah.
sitting outside. I never made it to the gym. I did make it to the bathroom several times, and I was outside trembling, like shaking. My hands were shaking. My skin was completely pale. That's why he looked at me. He thought I was like out there doing coke at 9 in the morning or something. Like, well, no, that doesn't even make sense. But
Oh, it does. I mean, like you think about it, like when you take things like that, like for me, when Bear passed, I took a bunch of like Tonkatali and I took a Zoa. Like not even it's like the lowest level energy drink you can take. Took a Zoa and it was storming out here, like in California, which is like not normal because we're used to the normal thing. Dude, I was shadow boxing in the rain for an hour and a half. Like my wife comes out, she's like, and like I took my shirt off. I'm like, she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I was like, "No." I was like, "But I shadow boxed in the rain for about an hour and a half, like just going like just trying to fight whatever was in front of me, like and that what like that's what it was, and like that's one another reason why I have to wear this stupid thing now because I was already hurt. But like that was pretty funny. I was like, I thought about it right after I got done with it. I'm like, damn.
no energy drinks for Mike.
No, I already have them.
Yeah.
It's already in the brain.
Yeah. Like that stuff just outside of pre-workouts, like coffees and stuff, they don't, like I said, it'll keep me from sleeping, but that's, I mean, sometimes I'll mix it with a little bit of bourbon to accelerate the absorption process of the alcohol.
I didn't
Little
even know
known.
that.
Oh, dude, do you remember Four Locos?
Yeah.
Okay, so oh, actually, I say it like it's a past tense thing. Four Loco is still in the market. However, I don't know if you remember. This is back around 2006, 7, no, 2007, 8, 9, 10, right in that area. Because that's when I was drinking a lot of Four Locos. And like what we would do is buy the grape Four Locos and we get a shot glass. And every minute you take a shot. So you just kind of like for an hour, you're just
Well, they
drinking.
banned them for a little while, right?
So what they did was they had to change the recipe. So
Oh,
that's when Four Locos was in the news because people were running into their neighbors' houses naked and like doing absolutely like bath salt Florida man shit. But they were doing it and it was just Four Loco. Like they weren't smoking meth. They were just drinking Four Locos. What they figured out was when you mix massive doses of like stimulants in particular, like caffeine, taurine, and all like Four Locos had a bunch of them in there. They were mixing that with potent malt liquor.
uh,
That when you the stimulant, the way it impacts the blood, it speeds up the absorption process of the alcohol. One, two, it delays the fatigue and the sedation that comes with alcohol. So instead of passing out like you're supposed to,
yeah,
the massive doses of stimulant keep you from passing out. So you just kind of like keep
just push.
you push with the Four Locos. So you're out drinking cheap malt liquor that tastes like grape Kool-Aid, and it's giving you doses of caffeine and taurine and whatever else. And so what they did now, if you look at Four Loko, they don't have the same recipe that they used to. They took all the fun out of it.
Well, dude, I thought about it like when we first started. or when they first started, because there was another drink called like White Blanco or something like that. It was like a tequila. It was like they give you tequila and energy drinks, the same pack. So I was like, maybe I can rate a company that we can do all of this together. And then they're like, oh no, for logo is Xnade, like we can't be doing that shit, like no more. So all right, so I left that alone. But I heard they had their own little legal issue.
Yeah. So now you just go to the bar and you order a Red Bull and Tito's.
Shoot, man, I'm double Tito's and soda.
I actually like to taste the Red Bull. I mean, it's not the caffeine. I actually like if they had a decaf Red Bull, I'd buy it.
I think they have something, or no, is it sugar free? They mean the
Sugar
sugar free.
free. I'm talking about decaf. Like if they had a soda that tasted like Red Bull soda, I'd buy it. Hey, Red Bull representatives, if you're watching now and you want to sponsor the podcast, I'll drink your decaf if you make it.
So this is the thing. We mentioned a lot of names. We have there's a lot of big things happening pretty soon. You can hit us up for sponsorship
Before it
because
gets super expensive because it's
yeah,
gonna.
because this is the buying price. After this, there is no more buying price. So this is
True
a
story.
warning because everything we're doing here, ooh, better be ready.
Yeah, I mean, people need to get in while the getting is good. I mean, that's just common sense. That's good business. If they're smart, all they have to do is watch and realize, go to a street league event, listen to the show, realize what's going to happen here. Um,
Bro, tonight we're doing the catalyst.
so what's going to be the deal for this as far as like watching it virtually or post? It's just like how, like,
Well,
what's the plan?
you're not here, so we don't have the virtual aspect of it, and that's one thing I've made a commitment to. I was like, if Katie's here, then we do a virtual thing.
Hmm.
But for the most part, man, like we're just running a bite night at this like iconic
Hmm.
spot. So it's gonna be murderous to me because I can't work a dog, but it's gonna be huge. Like that's like in that area too. Like just like anyone pull up the screen, Google it, say look at the catalyst.
Is Santa Cruz like when I hear Santa? I'm an East Coaster, right? So when I hear Santa Cruz, I think of like 80s skateboarding culture, like surf culture. Is that, am I correct? And like that
You're
is,
absolutely.
oh,
So
that's
we're
cool. That's cool. And you're doing a bite night there.
bro, I'm going like I had to test it. I had to see like where like what we can push. Like it had to be tested. It had to be something like I was like, all right, let's go into the besides San Francisco, let's go into the deepest culture that's not there and let's see what we got
Hmm.
and like let's push it into the next one.
I could see that being a regular semi, or not regular, but like I could see that being a recurring thing.
Well, they're saying that we have 300 plus people there, like spectators. Like, I'm just gonna pause and let you laugh because that's exactly what
That's sick. That's sick.
I do. Like that's one thing is that like I woke up this morning in a panic. I'm like thinking I got to get there, and I'm like, holy crap! Like I was like, did we just do this? Like, like is this actually happening? Like is this real? Because I didn't think. Like again, people who watch this stuff, I'm just a dude from the hood. And like I thought about that, I was like, dude, there's no way we got this because I thought it was gonna be like, for me, I anticipated a flop. Like I thought it was gonna be a flop. I was like, well, no, there's no way. I was like, whatever. We took it, and then we took it, and then now, boom, they're saying 300 people, which is wild, wild as shit.
I just sit and I hear that, like, you know me, like my wheels are spinning. I'm like, what about this? How can this? What if this? Oh, this, like, just scratch. That's why we were not being like canned or like scripted when we say, yeah, Red Bull, you might want to get in now. Like, because the stuff that I think, the stuff that you think, and then we talk about it and all the other ideas come in as people start collaborating, like it's things that have never been done before. And it's just things being done at a level that hasn't been seen here domestically in the dog world, in this genre of dogs. Like, just it hasn't been done. No one goes this hard. Period.
Dude, that's why you said, you asked me before where my mind stops. My mind don't stop. And, it's not necessarily something I suggest to everybody.
It is what it is really the situation. It is what it is. This is how
Yeah,
Mike's brain works. And now that tonight it's at the Catalyst in front of a massive crowd for a bite night.
yeah, it's normal bite night. But I'm gonna bring them. I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna bring me. I'm gonna bring my guys, and like that's what's gonna be. You know, it's that's what I tell my guys all the time. It's like it's either you're with it and you deal with it, or you're out of it. You got to be here. Like we run it at a level that's different than everybody else, and that's and this is the stuff I said. Reality is not a one individual thing.
Mm-hmm.
Reality is a perspective, and your perspective is fine. If you have your own perspective, that's completely okay. But my perspective, and if you want to run with me, is kill everything in front of you. Run through everything in front of you. Go. That's it. We just go. I'm sitting here with my socket. I'm like literally my shoulder feels like it's on fire. I should probably be in the hospital. Most people would be like, "Hey, like go to the doctor, da, da, da," whatever like that. But that ain't me. When shit starts to hurt, I have to start making things. Hence the Streetly tour, which is happening tonight and starts tonight at the Catalyst tour at the Catalyst.
So what are some of the other stops that you already have planned out right now?
So we have our Florida is first because of course I had to make the first one, the first one at the furthest across the country.
Mm-hmm.
So Florida's there, and then we go into Memphis, and then we go into Texas, and then we end up in New York. With our mutual friend.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be I'm looking forward to it. I mean, one, I get to go home. That's my stomping grounds, born
Yeah,
and raised. Um, get to see some familiar faces.
which I haven't even announced.
Hmm. I know. That's why I'm just saying familiar faces. I'm not saying whose faces they are.
But we got some big things happening
Yeah.
with was it Trial 4?
Yep.
Trial 4 is being a monster.
Hmm. I think that'd be a good time to reiterate our appreciation for one of the big sponsors, not just of this show, but also of Canine Street League.
You.
Ray Allen Manufacturing, Ray Allen Canine, been around for a long time. USA, domestic. It's whether you're pet dog stuff, working dog stuff, it's anything. And that's what a lot of people, I know when I talk to people about Ray Allen Canine that some of them have heard about it, especially dog trainers who work with pet dogs. They don't necessarily do working dog stuff. The first thing they think of is, oh, well, I don't do like police canine stuff. I'm like, so you do know that anything that you need for any dog, you can get it, Ray Allen, and it's all made in the United States. It's not a big factory. It's not like you're getting stuff from Indonesia. It's like, no, you can like call up and talk to real people because
Yep.
they're the ones sewing it. They're the ones making it. They're the ones designing it, fixing it. So I want to I like pointing that out because I know personally that a lot of people didn't know that. They didn't know that it's not just working canine stuff. It's anything dog related. So whether you're a pet dog trainer, pet dog owner, handler, whatever, definitely give them a check. And what's the code? Because they can use a code
It's
primal
Primal 10.
Primal 10. So if you use the code Primal 10 when you're there, yes, you'll get a little bit of love courtesy of Mike Jones Primal Canines collaboration with Ray Allen. Um,
Yeah,
Canine
man.
University. What else we got? Canine University online.
Yeah, I mean that one is normal. Let's run into it. Freaking we do a bunch of different courses. I'm making a course right now, even with you'll see me with my blown out shoulder, just going out there and talking about I don't even know what the hell they're gonna make me do today, but Canine U, there's no code because I don't discount anything that I do. So,
Nor do I.
oh, dude, like
Nor do I.
this is the thing that I think that like we should talk about too for like future dog trainers. Don't discount your courses. Don't, and the reason I'm gonna explain this in a second. Don't discount your courses because what happens is they wait for you to discount your courses. They wait for you service wise. They will wait for you. They will wait for you to do that stuff. And it sounds like uncomfortable. And I get it. I understand it. I had a hard time developing this mentality as well. And I got told by my mentor, your price is your price. And that's what it should be. There's nothing, if anything, you should increase because we have to create a standard of what it takes to make these dogs the dogs that the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
We have to create that because what's happening is depending on where you live is we're decreasing because we want to create sales. But what if we make sales bigger than they are? What if we create the expectation to be bigger than they are? What if we make these what if we make them think that hey, there's no sale? So we have to rechange the game. And that's the purpose of what we're doing. We have to change that. So that's my advice.
Oh, well, we can, yeah. Why don't we just next episode, then we'll really dig down into that rabbit hole because there's a whole psychology behind it, not in terms of the outward expression of your rate, but the inward. And what I mean by that is the rates that you charge, getting into sales and discounts and whatnot. That's actually a projection of things going on within yourself that has nothing to do with the market. It has to do with how you see yourself. It has to do with how you view your service. It has to do with a lot of things that we're not going to talk here with like 5 minutes left in the episode, but definitely let's like boom, that one goes on the agenda for episode 31 because I think there's a lot of people that really, 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 really need to hear that. Really need to. And
Well,
that's what we do We
Cut
talk
it
about
off,
stuff that
KD.
need to, folks. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Whether you got us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, make sure you are tuning in, turning on notifications, like, comment, subscribe wherever you happen to be watching this. Mike, where can everyone find you on social media?
Just find me. My name is Mike Jones. I'm pretty easy to find.
Just find me. Yeah. You know what? I now I can't say anything other than yeah, find me too. That's it. That's so today you don't get there's no I'm sure our media team will throw some things up here, some little ats in there, but yeah, I'll follow suit and say, yeah, I'm KD Matthews from Socratic Canine. Find me. That's Mike Jones from Primal Canine. Just find him. All right, Mike, as always, thank you for being you.
Thank you. Love you, brother.
Love you too, man. See you next episode.
Yep.